Hey sis, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, we are going over everything color correction. So if you're someone who suffers with dark marks, acne scars, hyperpigmentation, dark under eye circles, then this video is for you. So if you're wondering how I went from this to this, then just continue to watch. All right, sis, so today's video is of course dedicated to my girlies who suffer with dark spots, acne marks, hyperpigmentation. I myself in this season right now am dealing with hyperpigmentation. I am breaking out. I'm having a lot of hyperpigmentation, dark marks. So I'm dealing with all of that right now. This is like the perfect video to showcase how I would incorporate color correcting and just concealing into my daily makeup routine. So let's get into the first thing that you absolutely need to do, and that is prime your face. So I'm gonna go in with my xoxoxo's Yummy Skin Glow Serum. So this is a hydrating and priming face serum. So I'm gonna use it as my primer today, and I'm just gonna apply this all over my skin. You guys are seeing how it's really giving my skin a really nice hydrated and glowy finish. So I'm just gonna use my hand to moisturize this into my skin like a regular moisturizer or primer. You guys cannot tell me this is not doing what it said. Like, this is really glowy, really hydrating. I really love this product. All right, so now that we've primed our skin, we can now move into the color correcting process. So that's really one, analyzing our skin, analyzing where we need to color correct. So for me, my problem area is around my mouth. I definitely need to conceal that. When it comes to applying foundation over dark marks or acne marks, it really depends on how dark these marks are. It's really possible to put a foundation on where your dark spots or dark marks are still peeping out. They may look grayish, they may just not be completely covered. So that's why color correcting is important. That's where it comes into the whole makeup application. So when it comes to the color wheel, you really want to look at the shades that correspond with your issue. So for example, if you're dealing with darkness, you want to go for an orange tone concealer. So if you're more lighter skin tone, you're looking at more of a salmon orangey shade. So it's not going to be a deep orange, it's going to be a really salmon shade, so almost pinky and orange mix. If you're someone who is of deeper skin tone like myself, we want to go for more oranges to cancel out the darkness. And if you're someone who is really deep, like a really dark, beautiful chocolate, I would say either an orange or even a red corrector. So we've established what type of corrector you may need for your skin type. Now it's down to the application. So for the sake of today's video, I'm going to be using my LA Girl Pro Concealer in the orange shade corrector. This has been an OG. I've used this over the years since I've ever even started makeup. So I know that this is a really good beginner-friendly orange corrector. Another good one is the e.l.f. orange corrector, which I have yet to try. So that would be another one that I would recommend as well. But we're gonna use this LA Girl Pro Concealer today. And you guys know me, I do not like to go directly on my face with products. So of course, we're gonna be applying this to the back of my hand. All right, so I've applied some to the back of my hand, and this is what I'm going to be working with today. So when it comes to the application, I feel like the most efficient tools to use is either your fingers or a concealer brush. Stay away from a beauty sponge because a beauty sponge is going to suck up a lot of the pigment, which is exactly what you do not need. You need that pigment. You need it to conceal your dark spots, your dark marks. So going in with a beauty sponge for color correcting, I would not recommend. For today's video, I am going to be using a concealer brush. So today I'm going to be using the BK Beauty Nikki LaRose brush, and this is the number 16 concealer brush. And this is like a really small, dense concealer brush. You want something that is small so that it can target those small spots on your face. Avoid using a big brush to blend out your concealer. You definitely don't want to do that. So aim for a smaller size brush. All right, so I'm gonna warm this concealer on the back of my hand, just apply some to the brush. And what I'm gonna do is obviously find the areas on my face that need that correction. So I've already showed you guys this area here has been breaking out. I've been getting some darkness, specifically around my mouth, underneath my eyes and then some areas on my face here. So we're gonna go in with spot correcting, and I like to use just a little bit. I just applied a bit to the brush to start off, and what you want to do is target those areas. You do not want to move this anywhere on your face except for those specific areas. So I'm gonna start with here, and all I'm doing is dabbing that concealer in. So I'm just actually gonna apply it all around my mouth, and then from here you can just continue to blend. I would recommend using your fingers. This is just such an easier blend. So with your fingers, you just want to dab it in, and you're gonna see that it starts to blend into the skin. So I'm gonna apply a bit more here. We have some darkness there. I didn't add any more product to this brush. And also another really good tip is less is more. You never want to use a lot of your color corrector just because you don't want to alter your shade. All you're doing is concealing. So I'm gonna dip back a little bit into that concealer, and we're gonna work on the under eye. And like I said, you don't need a lot. Really focus it in the inner corner. Most people, their darkness is in the inner corner. It's not down here, it's not up here, it's mostly in that inner corner. So I say just focus your color corrector in the inner corner. So you could see how that darkness instantly went away. My lids is another area that I want to conceal as well. And again, I'm not using a lot of product. All right, so this is how my skin is looking. So you can see that I've honestly created a really even canvas for my skin. So at this point, you want to let it just settle into your skin. I say wait about 1 to 2 minutes. And then from this step, we're gonna move on to powder. All right, so you're probably wondering why powder? So powder is going to help set all of your color correcting areas. Now, why are we setting these areas? This is going to ensure that it doesn't budge when we apply our foundation. So you don't want to move around that orange pigmentation. You want to keep it in the areas that you've applied it. So applying powder over that is going to set it in place before you go in with your foundation. So a powder I would recommend is any type of translucent setting powder. If you're of a darker, deeper shade like myself, a medium deep translucent powder is something I would recommend. For today's video, I am going to be using my CoverGirl Clean Invisible Loose Setting Powder, and this is in the shade Translucent Deep. So to set your color corrector, I always recommend a fluffy, small, dense setting brush. This one here is by Real Techniques, so it's specifically for setting powder. So I'm gonna use this today, and I love that it's small because I do want it to focus only specifically in those specific areas I applied that color corrector. So I would recommend a small setting brush. So I'm gonna dip into that powder, and I'm just gonna apply this over all the areas we applied that color corrector. And the reason I say skin tone, because you can see right now that it's literally blending into my skin. So we're just gonna set all those areas. At this point, I don't even need to use a full coverage foundation. I can go in with a light coverage foundation and get a flawless makeup look. If you're someone who likes to use tinted moisturizers, you can go on top of this with a tinted moisturizer. Honestly, the choice is yours. So now let's get into the foundation. All right, so today I'm gonna use my handy dandy Haus Labs Triclone Skin Tech Foundation. One of my favorites, my go-tos. This is in the shade 480. And for my foundation brush today, I'm gonna use my Danessa Myricks Beauty Yummy Face brush. This is the 1.0, and this is just a foundation brush. I'm gonna use the back of my hands and just make one pump. We're gonna start off with one pump, and then I'm gonna take my brush and just warm it up on the back of my hand. This is what gives me an even application because it's warmed up on all the bristles, and this is what we want. So when it comes to blending out your foundation, you want to stipple. So stipple is literally dabbing your foundation in. You don't want to swipe or move around anything. You just want to stipple. So at this point, we can literally start dabbing our foundation in. And over the areas that we applied that color corrector, you just want to just take your time. Try not to move anything around. For my eyes, I'm not going to necessarily put any foundation underneath my eyes. The less product is the better. So we're going to reserve that for my concealer. For everywhere else, you just want to lightly dab that foundation in. All right, so with the remaining, I didn't put anything else on here. I'm just gonna go over my nose area. All right, so I have my foundation on. Let's move on to concealer. So honestly, guys, at this point, it's self-explanatory. You can finish up your makeup the same way you would if you were just, I don't know, you could just finish it up the exact way you normally do. So today I'm going to be using my Rare Beauty concealer. I'm in the shade 450N, and we're just going to apply this to the normal areas. So underneath my eyes, forehead, down the bridge of my nose, cupid's bow, and my chin. And for my under eyes, like I said, less is more underneath your eyes. So I just applied a little bit of that concealer because we did already do a lot of work in terms of coverage. So I feel like going in with a lot of concealer is unnecessary ever, to be honest. You do not need to go in with so much concealer, but I just focused this in the inner corners. And then to blend it out, I'm gonna take my Real Techniques brightening concealer brush. This is like a kitten paw concealer brush. I love this because it's pointed, it's angled for you to get right in the areas that you need to underneath your eyes. So this is definitely a beginner concealer brush that I would recommend, but I'm just going to use this to blend out my concealer today. So again, with your concealer, you just want to dab. You never want to swipe your products ever. And then I'm just going to apply the rest of the concealer to my forehead, down the bridge of my nose, cupid's bow, and my chin. All right, so from this point, I'm just gonna quickly finish up the rest of my makeup, and then we'll see what the finishing look comes to. All right, sis, so this is the finishing look. So color correcting really helps to just even out the skin tone. So I hope today I was very detailed. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Leave any video ideas that you guys want to see from me next. And if you haven't checked out my most recent video, I did do a 15-minute quick beat, date night beat, where I just showed you guys all drugstore products and just how to do your face in 15 minutes or less. So if you guys haven't checked out this video, I'll leave it on the screen right here for you to check out after this one, of course. And that is about it. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.